What's up, y'all? Meowth here. So today we've got part 2 out of the 3-part series of card reviews for the new expansion Fractured in Alterac Valley. So just a reminder, we're going to be talking about these cards in terms of Wild. Alright, I know a lot of these cards might look playable in Standard. Wild is a completely different ball game. I'm going to be trying my best to be talking about just kind of potential of all of these cards, what you can do with them, rather than, they can't beat Pirate Warrior, they can't beat Odd Hunter, because, not a lot can. And so if I was doing that, I would be talking about like 3 cards, right? I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that these are not in class order. I'm kind of going by release date, which means that they're going to be all over the place, and I apologize in advance if you wanted to look for specific classes. But I'm going to be doing my best to make it quick so that you guys don't have to sit through a 2-hour video just to listen to all these cards. All right. We're going to hop into it, but first things first, just a reminder that if you guys like the content, make sure you guys drop a sub and a like. It's a small thing, but it does actually support the content a ton. And of course, let me know down in the comments below whether you agree, disagree with any of my evaluations for these cards, or interactions and decks and synergies that you're excited to try out with them. Let me know down in the comments below. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and hop on into it. Alright, so the first card I want to talk about is Seraphine Fleet Runner. So this is a 5-mana 5/5 rogue legendary minion. Battlecry, replace your minions in hand and deck with ones from other classes. They cost 2 less. So this is a Burgle Rogue card, right? The unfortunate thing here is that it also replaces minions, right? So it's going to replace your Tess and your 5/6 and your 2/3s that become 3/4s with Rush. I mean, they cost 2 less. I don't know, it's a Burgle Rogue card that doesn't seem super powerful to me, so it's not super interesting to me. And even for those, like, people that do play Burgle Rogue, I don't know, like, I feel like Tess is so powerful, and Seraphine Fleet Runner seems a little bit less powerful than that. Though you have the potential for some pretty nuts tempo if you build your deck a specific way. So I'm not super excited about her, but I'm sure a lot of you Burgle Rogue enthusiasts out there are, so I hope you guys enjoy Seraphine Fleet Runner. Alright, let's talk about the Priest Legendary. We've got Najak Hexen, 4-mana 1/4, Battlecry, take control of an enemy minion, Death Rattle, give the minion back. I think this card is just, like, really slow, like, way too slow. I don't like this in Silence Priest because, like, I don't know, that's a 5-mana mind control. I don't like this in Inner Fire Priest, because, you don't have really ways to silence it in Inner Fire Priest. I'm not super high on this card. I don't really even know where you would ever play this. Pretty sad. I was hoping for a lot more with this Priest Legendary. Like, Inner Fire Priest, you want to be running, you have Wave of Apathy, Potion of Madness for your combo kills if you really, really want to do that. Paying 4 mana for a minion when you only want specific minions in your Inner Fire Priest or your Silence Priest because you want the ability to tutor them and stuff like that. It makes a difference, and I don't really know if I like this kind of diluting that minion pool, and I don't even think it's that high quality. So next up, we have Cheaty Snowballed. This is a 3-mana 3/4 Shaman minion. After an enemy is frozen, deal 3 damage to it. So I really like this card because it's one of those static abilities, right? It's not a battle cry. You can be triggered multiple times. I don't know. I really, really like this. I don't think that it really fits with only 3 frost spells, for example, if we're talking about Galakron Shaman. But I think a deck that's running a lot of Glacial Shards, running those Invocation of Frost, maybe running the Snowball Fight, the new card. If you want to build a dedicated free Shaman deck, or a deck that's a little bit higher density than a normal Shaman deck, I think you really, really want Cheaty Snowballed. I think it's a pretty damn good card in those decks. Alright, next up we have Spring the Trap. So this is a 4-mana Hunter spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion and cast a secret from your deck. So that's baseline. So baseline, it's very similar to... God, I don't even remember the card. It's the 4-mana, deal 3, summon a 3/3. It's very similar in value to that. But if you do get the opportunity to honorable kill a minion with Spring the Trap, okay, so if you deal 3 damage exactly to a minion and kill it, you get to cast 2 secrets from your deck. Okay, so not only are you killing off a minion, you're pulling 2 secrets out of your deck. I think the big thing here is that it is 4 mana, so it's also very relevant in Even Hunter. It's a lot tacked onto a card. Okay, so you're having two mad scientist effects, right? So you're drawing two secrets and playing two secrets. And of course, like if you already have something like a cat trick out, you're going to get the other two secrets in your deck. I don't know. I really like this. It is 4 mana, right? And as with all of these honorable kill cards, it really comes down to how consistently can you get the honorable kill, right? That's going to determine a lot about the power level of these cards. If you can honorable kill pretty consistently with this card, I think it is a very, very strong card. And I will note that, in Even Hunter, all of your minions are 3 health. Okay, so even if you have to use this on your own minion, ideally you don't want to, but even if you have to use this on your own minion to pull the 2 secrets to, hit a freezing trap against the Even Warlocks, or to find yourself a pressure plate against a combo deck, or a snipe, I think it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to be trying it out. I think it has a lot of potential. I know it's not odd cost, it doesn't fit into odd quest hunter, blah blah blah, but I'm going to be trying out Spring the Trap. I'm pretty excited about it. Alright, so next up we're going to talk about Xyrella. This is the Priest hero card. So she's 8 mana. Obviously you get the 5 armor. Battlecry. Trigger the death rattle of every friendly minion that has died this game. So this is Shudderwalk for death rattles, essentially. Right? Or a N'Zoth that gets the immediate death rattle. However you want to think about it. It's a pretty powerful effect, right? These cards are always potentially warping if they hit the right combination of cards. Just if we really, really powerful effect on the Battlecry. If we look at the hero powers are also pretty damn insane. So you have Holy Touch, which is restore 5 health. So this is targeted restore 5 health. So it can be towards a minion or it can be to your face. And it flips each turn. So it flips between this Holy and the Shadow side. The Shadow side is a Void Spike. This is 2 mana, deal 5 damage. So this is deal 5 for 2 mana, targeted. So you can hit a minion, or more than likely, you can use it as a finisher to help deal 5 damage to your opponent's face, which is kind of nuts. That is an insane hero power attached to a pretty insane Battlecry. The issue is, how do we work with this Battlecry in our format, right? Reno Priest is currently a combo deck, not really looking at these death rattles. Regular Big Priest right now, not really wanting to run this card unless we kind of shift how we're building the deck. Right, because right now it is a very, very late game card that summons like 3 7/7s with taunt, which is not the most insane thing, right? So I don't know. I keep talking about this, but like Medium Priest, if I play 8 mana, clear the board, alongside maybe some value death battles could be worth it. I don't know. Maybe you're shoving it alongside like the Leper Gnomes. It is 8 mana, so it's extremely slow. But if you have a bunch of like Leper Gnomes and Sand Troopers and the 4/3 with some Twilight Skulls and stuff like that, it could be just like 8 mana, deal 30 damage, which would not, maybe not 30, but it would be like 8 mana, deal 15, 16, 17, 18 pretty consistently. And obviously the big bird in the room, like Albatross, right? If you're playing Albatross and Weasels and you run this in that deck, can do some pretty gross things and pretty annoying things as well. I'm not really sure how the interaction with the Weasels themselves would work, but yeah, I think she has a lot of potential. It's just really, really figuring out kind of the best home for her at the moment, but I really do like Xyrella the Devout. All right, let's talk about the new rogue weapon. We have the Lobotomizer. What a great name. 2 mana rogue weapon, 2/2 stats. Honorable kill. Get a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck. We talked a lot about honorable kill on the podcast, or we talked about like, I don't know, it's so hard to deal 2 damage outside of like Pirate Warrior for honorable kill. I really don't like this card. Even in Burgle Rogues, I think it's really, really hard to get this effect to work. And I don't even think it's that powerful enough of an effect, right? Even for Burgle Rogue decks, because like, yeah, you get a little bit of information, plus you get the value, but most of the time, right, we're talking about in Wild, where everything is so synergistic that just getting a copy of a random card in your opponent's deck is not even good. And so I don't think the Lobotomizer is very good, even if it has a really, really sick name. All right, let's talk about some mage cards here. We've got Belinda Stonehearth. So this is the mage legendary minion, 6 mana, 5/5, Battlecry, draw 2 spells, swap their cost with this minion's stats. So my understanding is if you draw 2 spells, right? Let's say you draw 2 puzzle boxes of Yogg-Saron, they both would become 5/5s, right? Because I'm assuming these stats are going to be like the 5 power, the 5 toughness, which means that if you somehow get a potion of illusion or some effects like that alongside Belinda, then you play this and you draw 2 big spells that cost 1, which is kind of insane. So I kind of see the route where standard big spell mage is kind of moving with some of these cards. In Wild, we're kind of looking at we don't really have a big spell mage right now that has ever been close to remotely viable. So we're really looking at LPG mage as kind of like the sole potential for this card right now, the one potential home at this moment outside of big spell mage. And just using this alongside some of the brand new spells that we're going to talk about today that are pretty good alongside this. But using this as a way to hit LPG, to hit Flame Strike, to hit Puzzle Box if you're running that. I mean, I'll go ahead and allude to it. Like we have Mass Polymorph that we could talk about. We also have the new Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron, the better Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron maybe. So yeah, she could have a home in LPG mage, like big spell LPG mage, where like your only cheap spells are Book of Specters and the secrets, and ideally you're not drawing the secrets because you're pulling them out of your deck with scientists and stuff. So yeah, I can see a home for her. It's a pretty powerful effect, right? Especially like the reason that I want to talk about it, right? The reason that I think it has potential is LPG mage with stuff like Potion of Illusion. It's like part of the core of the deck, and if you Potion of Illusion on this card, that is absolutely insane. Like, it is nuts. I don't know if you'll have enough spells for it or anything like that, but I'm excited to try her out because LPG Mage needs some help. So maybe this new direction is kind of the route that we should take it. We've got Ice Blood Tower as the other mage spell to talk about here. We have a 10 mana spell enchantment world thing. At the end of your turn, cast another spell from your deck. Last 3 turns. So this is kind of like the standard big spell mage synergy, right? You play this, you hit some, I don't even know what the big spells are in standard, but like you can play this in Wild. You can hit puzzle boxes, you can hit the new 9-cost spell, you can cast the freeze target, summon 2 water elementals. The fact that I don't know these names kind of indicate to you that these aren't very good cards, right? I don't know. Do you want this in that LPG mage that I was talking about? Where, like, it can cast yourself a Book of Specters, or it can pull that secret out of your deck, or it can, it can cast the LPG. I guess off the Pilgrim it's not terrible, but it's also, like, if you're pulling Book of Specters and secrets off of it, I'm not super happy with it. And it is 10 mana, so it's all about cheating it out with something like Pilgrim or Dragoncaster or something like that. So, I don't know. I think with this card and Belinda and some of the other cards that we're going to talk about today, we really need to take a look at, kind of revisit how we build LPG Mage, because there's some potential there. It might not be some super great potential, but I think there's a potential with a lot of these big spells in a kind of Arena Mage shell. All right, let's talk about the Warrior Legendary Minion. We've got Captain Galvanger, 6 mana, 6/6 Battlecry. If you have gained 15 or more armor this game, gain +3/+3 and charge. So I don't really know if this has a home outside of one specific deck, and I think that deck is Charge Warrior. So Charge Warrior can very easily gain 15 or more armor, right? Utilizing stuff like Risky Skipper and Armor Smiths and Armor Vendors and the Eternium Rovers. Charge Warrior kind of fell off. So for those of you guys that know what this deck is, it basically, you play Captain Galvanger, you somehow damage it, right, with something like an Inner Rage, give it some toughness or power boost, and then you copy it with Bloodsworn Mercenaries, and so you can use this as sort of your way to OTK. We used to use stuff like Crab Riders, right? You go Crab Rider, Inner Rage, Shield of Honor, copy it with a Mercenary. I wonder if Captain Galvanger maybe takes the place of the Crab Riders in those decks, because it means you have to run a lot less combo pieces, which means you can run a lot of just better cards, solid cards, less situational combo pieces. So that's kind of where I would take a look at Captain Galvanger right now in Wild. All right, so next up we have some more big Demon Hunter support. We have Sigil of Reckoning. So again, the sigils are the cards that you would play on your turn, and then they trigger at the beginning of your next turn. So Sigil of Reckoning is a 5 mana sigil. At the start of your next turn, summon a random demon from your hand. So this is a 5-mana spell that is a 1-turn Skull of Minari. Skull of Minari was absolutely busted, alright? Skull of Minari is insane. A 1-turn Skull of Minari, not so insane. Okay, but I will say there are cards in your deck, in Demon Hunter, that can tutor Fel spells. We have the new one. I don't remember if it's from United in Stormwind or from Fortune the Barons, but it's a 4-drop that draws you a Fel spell and makes it cost 2 less. So like I kind of see where all the synergy is coming from. I think Big Demon Hunter will be a very good deck in Standard. Not sure if it's going to be powerful enough in Wild, given that, you know, this deck is basically being built in Standard, and so if it's really, really good in Wild, it's probably busted in Standard. But, I mean, there's some synergy here with Sigil of Reckoning. And I don't know, I'm excited to try out Big Demon Hunter and just see if it looks like it's going to be a legitimate deck. Alright, we've got Frozen Mammoth. So this is a 4-mana 6/7. This is frozen until you cast a fire spell. So I think you care less about this being frozen if you cast a fire spell and more, hey, can we take advantage of stuff like something like this in Silence Priest, or in something that's running the Bonfire Elemental that means like your minions can't be frozen. So you just play a 4-mana 6/7, but then 4-mana 6/7s aren't even good enough in our format. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this and move on to the next card. We've got Rune of the Archmage. So this is the spell that I was talking about earlier with those big spell mage synergies, where you get to cast 20 mana of mage spells at enemies. So this is kind of like Solarian Prime, but you get 20 mana worth of spells, and you get to do some potentially really, really dumb things. Looking forward to the Raffle or Dane or Swag deck that's running like 2 of these and 2 Yogg boxes as their only win cons, and just casting them like over and over and over and over again until you finally win a game. It is worth noting that they are, you know, going to target enemies if they can, if they are targeted spells, which is good, right? If they can target enemies, that is a good thing. But yeah, I can tell this is going to be a really, really annoying card, but like if you can cheat this out on turn 4, turn 5, you know, in that LPG Big Spell Mage or something like that, or maybe just Big Spell Mage, we're finally getting enough that we can actually run a non-arena version of that deck. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too much more to talk about, right? Because it's a pretty clear card of what this deck wants to do and what this card is going to do. It's just a matter of whether this, you know, deck is going to be enough in Wild. All right, so let's move on to the Mage Hero card here. We have Magister Dawngrasp, 8-mana Mage Hero card. Battlecry, recast a spell from each spell school you have cast this game. So, I don't know, Mage really only has, I believe, the 3 big ones, right? Fire, Frost, Arcane, and they have like 1 shadow spell or 2 shadow spells. I feel like you have to be building a deck where you're playing this and then the recasting of very specific spells from your spell schools is winning you the game, right? So like some of the shadow spells, for example, are Mask of Cthulhu, right? So you play this and you recast a Mask of Cthulhu, or you like guaranteed get a Flame Strike or something like that. Not really sure. I haven't done too much digging in the spells themselves. Rather, like there's not too much variability. Like you're getting maybe 4, unless you're generating a 5th or another spell school. All right, so the hero power it is interesting though. So this is a 2-mana hero power that deals 1 damage, but isn't this supposed to be an upgraded hero power? It's a hero card. Well, here we go. We got the honorable kill, gain +2 damage. So if you kill something that has 1 health, then your next hero power now deals 3 damage. And then if you can somehow honorable kill again, your hero power does 5. And then obviously you have all the hero power synergy support cards. So like maybe you run this in something like Even Mage. I know that sounds kind of crazy, especially now that they don't have Wildfire, but I don't think Wildfire would have carried on over to this anyways. But what I'm talking about is like Arcane Burst. You have the ability to manipulate how much damage you're doing, right? You have all the augments to your hero power, and so maybe you're using this as a finisher now alongside Mordresh. Not completely sold. I'm kind of grasping at straws. No pun intended to Magister Dawngrasp, but yeah, I'm not super excited about this. But I think that hero power is kind of where you're going with, because I don't know if the Battlecry is powerful enough on its own. got Rokara the Valorous. She is a 7-mana hero card, Battlecry. Equip a 5/2 Unstoppable Force. So now we are learning why the immovable object from Cariel is statted as a 2/5, even if it can't lose durability, because it's just the foil to this weapon here from Rokara. So the Unstoppable Force, so it's a weapon, 7-mana weapon. After you attack a minion, smash it into the enemy hero. So you swing into a minion, let's say you swing into a giant, and then that giant, even if it dies, I believe, gets smacked into your opponent's face, and they will take 8 damage as well. And the hero power here, this is a 2-mana hero power. 2-mana, deal 2. If you honorable kill, gain 4 armor. So I will say, outside of the super great flavor for Unstoppable Force, man, this card is so boring. It is so boring. It doesn't do anything. You're paying 7 mana for this. Oh, I really don't like this card. I think it's very, I don't know. She couldn't have done something else, right? Alongside the 5/2, a weapon equip for her Battlecry. Cariel at least gets a consecration. I guess this goes as the top end of your standard Pirate Warrior, but in Wild, I don't like this, and I don't think it's gonna see any play. This card just doesn't feel. Outside of the achievements that you probably need to get with the Unstoppable Force, this card does not feel very good or very exciting for me at all. Alright, next up is a card that I really, really wish that I had an LPG Mage a year ago when Darkleer was running rampant. And Darkleer was the main reason that LPG Mage wasn't the top tier deck, because you just couldn't beat the Giants in Darkleer. And now they have printed Mass Polymorph, and so finally, a year and a half later, we have an answer now to these Darkleer Warlocks and the big priests that are running rampant on the meta. But no, in today's metagame, Mass Polymorph is not super exciting because it doesn't feel like it's hitting a whole lot. But, I mean, cards like this is a 7-mana board wipe. This is like a Twisting Nether, essentially, for Mage, which is great, right? We always talk about how Mage doesn't have super insane board wipes. We've got really, really good effects on minions, but not just pure board wipes themselves. We have Flame Strike, sort of. We have Fire Sale, and now we have Mass Polymorph. So I'm excited for this card, if just not for potential in Mage in the future of these slower Mage decks maybe coming back into the metagame. But I really, really like this card. Really, really powerful. The Warlock player in me shudders a little bit at the thought of getting all my big demons hit by a Mass Polymorph, but here we are. I like this card. I think it's good. Even if it doesn't see a ton of play immediately, something like Fire Sale, right, I was really high on the card because it fixes one of Mage's weaknesses. And so even if it doesn't see a ton of play immediately, I'm happy that it's now in the arsenal for the class. And now we have Brasswing. So this is an 8-mana 9/7 dragon for Paladin. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. That means the enemy hero as well. Honorable kill. So if you kill any of those minions with that 2 damage that it's dealing, restore 4 health to your hero. Man, I was trash talking Big Paladin. This card is nuts in Big Paladin, right? We have the new Templar as well. Okay, man, all right. Big Paladin might legitimately be a deck now, right? I think Brasswing is a very, very good card. Very, very good in that archetype. And I think it'll see a ton of play in Big Paladin. It's going to be one of the reasons to play Big Paladin. I guess the question is do you want to run this anywhere outside of Big Paladin, right? Is this card just good enough to play in something like Reno Paladin? Where you have the 2/3 Murloc that tutors a dragon. And so normally you're just tutoring Nozdormu. But is this dragon good enough to fit in as just an 8-mana potential board wipe that heals up? I think so. I think you at least try it. Even though Reno Paladin is a fringe archetype, right? This card, maybe I'm just dragons and super excited about dragons, but no, I actually think this card's really, really good. Right now, looking at existing decks, it feels like they're fitting into not very good decks, but I think it's a very, very good card in those decks that might push those decks into actually being relevant and being talked about. All right, so we're moving into Hunter here. We have Beast Stalker Tavish. This is a 6-mana Hunter hero card. Battlecry, discover and cast 2 improved secrets. So what improved secrets are they're basically upgraded versions of the secrets that you guys know and love. Unfortunately, it has been confirmed that Beastalker Tavish will only cast improved secrets of secrets that are in standard. Okay, which is a little bit of a letdown. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really does suck. Speaking as a wild specific player. But if we take a look at the secrets that are in standard currently, right, we have improved explosive trap. So improved explosive trap is going to deal 3 damage instead of 2. You have open the cages that'll summon 2 animal companions instead of 1. Snake trap's going to summon 2 2s now instead of 1 1s. Freezing trap is now going to make the enemy minion cost 4 more instead of 2. Pack tactics is going to summon 2 copies instead of 1. And then we also have this new secret that they kind of leaked, but it hasn't been officially revealed yet, so we don't know what the normal card of this is, but we have improved Ice Trap. So the improved version of this card says, when your opponent casts a spell, return it to their hand, and it costs 2 more. So it's kind of like Counterspell in Hunter. We don't know what the base version of this secret looks like, whether it is just when an opponent casts a spell, return it to the hand instead, and it costs 1 more, or we don't. I would assume that's what it is, but we don't know what the base version of this card is. But circling back to Tavish, right? We'll talk about Ice Trap once it officially gets revealed. Circling back to Tavish, so the battle cry is pretty good, right? You discover and cast 2 of these improved secrets, and then we look at the hero power, and the hero power costs 3 mana, which is gross. But the hero power says 3 mana, summon an animal companion. So, the secrets are really good, right? And I don't know, maybe you can get away with running this as the top end in your Secret Hunter list. I'll talk about Secret Hunter in a future video. It's a deck that I'm going to highlight because I think it's a deck that has a lot of potential. But I think Tavish probably can fit as the top end of that because it doesn't mess with your Drekthar. You're getting a lot of secret support anyways. I do wonder, are you still okay running this with a 3 mana hero power? Because it's you're not discovering the animal companion, right? You're not always summoning a Huffer here. You're not that. Because if you could do that, then maybe we're talking differently. But the reason you don't run Rexar in those kinds of decks is because it takes away the finishing power of your deck. Right, you don't want value in those decks. You want tempo. You want aggression. You want to hit face. The 2 improved secrets are very good tempo. The hero power not so much, but it allows you to potentially finish off some games here. A lot less than the hero power, of shooting 2, but still some potential. I'm gonna try out Beastalker Tavish. Maybe even in an Even Hunter if we take Even Hunter a much more secret centric approach. As we might, right? A lot of secret synergy in Hunter this expansion. So maybe even Secret Hunter, maybe just a regular Secret Hunter. I'm a little bit let down by the Tavish. I wish the hero power was cooler. I wish it cost 2 mana, or at least it let me discover right at 3 mana. But a little bit of a letdown. But in general, I think Tavish has some potential. It doesn't really solve the issues of Even Hunter. Right, and adding a 6-cost card might not be good enough, but I think we are taking a look at Even Hunter again in general with a lot of the new cards that it's getting, and so maybe Beastalker Tavish fits in there as well. But yeah, I mean, Beastalker Tavish, even if it's not super exciting, probably good enough to see play in those specific archetypes. All right, so we have Pathmaker. So this is a 3 mana 3/4 Druid minion. Sorry, I almost called it a spell because it has to do with spells. It's a 3 mana 3/4 Battlecry. Cast the other choice from the last choose 1 spell you've cast. It's a very weird card. A very cool effect though. So it's a 3/4 minion that when you play it, let's say you cast Rising Winds. So this is either you draw a card or you summon a 3/2 and it has twin spell. So if you draw the 3/2 or draw a card, now you summon the 3/2, or maybe vice versa. The issue with this card, and the issue with a lot of Druid minions, is that this feels like it wants to fit into a slower Druid deck, right? It doesn't really feel like it can fit in an aggressive Druid shell. The issue is these slower Druid decks have these cards called Oaken Summons, with Vargoth and Mana Saber, or Vargoth and the 5/10 taunt, which is kind of is a really big bummer because it means that these cards have to be absolutely insane to play, like to break through that Oaken Summons. And this card, like, while it's a really, really cool effect, doesn't scream absolutely broken insane to me. And so while I like the card and I like the effect and I hope they do more stuff like this, I can't really see a place for this. Dude, do you run it in Reno Druid? I don't know what Reno Druid lists look like, and if you have a high enough density of these choose one spells for this to even see play in something like Reno Druid. But that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the Demon Hunter hero card, the first ever Demon Hunter hero card, and boy, is it a pretty sick one. So we have a 6 mana hero card here. So important to note, cannot be run in Odd Demon Hunter unless it gets buffed/nerfed. And it might. It's a pretty powerful card. Let's talk about it. So Battlecry, summon 2 1/4 demons with Rush. This gets improved by your hero's attack this game. So I'm assuming every time that your hero attacks, it has been confirmed that it does buff the attack of the demons. So let's say you've hero powered and swung once, you'll be summoning 2/4 demons with Rush. So basically, this is a 6 mana card that's going to trade up pretty likely into or trade into some minions and clear the board to set up for this hero power. So this hero power is Ashfallen's Fury. So this is a 1 mana Demon Hunter hero power. Okay, hero power gain +2 attack. So you just get Odd Demon Hunter hero power in your not Odd Demon Hunter decks. Easy. After a friendly minion attacks, refresh this. So that just kind of seems insane. A repeatable hero power that you can use multiple times in a turn at a very low opportunity cost. Yeah, where have we heard this being broken before? I don't know, maybe just regular Odd Hunter or Raza Priest before. Yeah, this hero power is pretty insane. So there's obviously like a combo that's been talked about already with stuff like, God, I don't remember the name of these cards, but the 2/3 that discounts your hero power by 1. Okay, so we normally run that in Even Hunter. Probably run it in this deck to make your Demon Hunter hero power cost 0. So you have this Ashfallen's Fury that it costs 0 mana to refresh. And then you can run a bunch of these token makers, right? So the big one that's being talked about is like Expendable Performer. So this is the 7 mana card. That'll summon a bunch of 1/1s, right? It's up to 12 potentially, maybe 14. And if you have that 2/3 that makes your demons cost, or your hero power cost 1 less, then you get to use this multiple times, maybe up to 20 attack in a turn, and do some broken stuff. I think this is a pretty powerful effect, very powerful effect. I think the issue is like to take advantage of it, we have to play non-Odd Demon Hunter. I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't play enough Demon Hunter. I don't know how to build a non-Odd Demon Hunter deck or a non-super aggro deck in Wild, and if it's anywhere close to playable. So this is going to take some messing around with. I don't think very many people in Wild have done that. And so it's going to be a fun, exciting adventure to see if we can break Curtis even harder in our format than they can in Standard. But pretty sick card. Pretty happy with Demon Hunter's first ever hero card. Pretty cool effect. So let's talk about Amplified Snow Flurry. So this is a 2 mana 2/3 elemental for Mage. Battlecry, your next hero power costs 0 and freezes the target. It is important to note that similar to Tour Guide, it does not say your next hero power this turn costs 0. So you can bank your hero power and freeze whatever you find necessary. Dude, this card's just nuts, right? Like, this card is so good. It's a 2 mana 2/3, so the stats aren't terrible itself, but a 0 mana hero power that freezes the target. So obviously, like, your hero power mages, your even mages, like, honestly, you probably shove this in regular Reno mages as well. This card's really good. Like, I wonder, man, what else can we do with this card to potentially break it? Like, it's so good against pirates. It's so good against the giants. Obviously not so good against Hunter, right? Because they don't play very many minions, or the combo decks in the format. But against board-based decks, this card is just absolutely bonkers, and I'm excited for it. Like, I really do like this card. All right, next up we have Claw Fury Adept. So there's a 2-mana 2/3 beast in Druid. Battlecry, give all your other friendly characters +1 attack this turn. So it's like a mini Savage Roar on a minion. That minion is a beast. All right, so we were like just talking about this aggro beast druid on the podcast with like adorable infestations, the new thing from below for beast. And I think this card fits really, really nicely in that deck. I don't know if it fits anywhere else. Like, I don't know if it's good enough for just pure aggro druid. But, like, I mean, you probably try it out in aggro druid, right? But that aggro beast druid looking really solid with a lot of the cards that we're seeing here. All right, next up we've got Battle Worn Vanguard. So this is a 2-mana common Demon Hunter card. It's a 2-mana 2/2. After your hero attacks, summon 2 1/1 Fellwings. So important to note that this is kind of like a static ability, right? So this can trigger multiple times. So I think this is a very, very good card in that token Demon Hunter list that we've been talking about with the Giant and a lot of the synergies that we're seeing this expansion. Seems like really, really good. And you probably play this, right? Like on turn 3, it is a 2-mana 4/4. Right, 3 mana if you have to hero power. If you have the Umbral Fell Glaives, the baby muster for battle for Demon Hunter, and you play that on turn 2, and then you play this alongside maybe another 1-drop, so then it's a 2-mana 4/4 with some additional. Like I think this card's just good. Like it's a very, very good card for what that deck wants to do. Is what that deck wants to do powerful enough for Wild? Who knows until we actually play it. But I think it's a very, very good card in that deck. All right, next up we've got Corporal. So this is a 2-mana 2/3 neutral minion. Honorable kill, give your other minions Divine Shield. I mean, this card, definitely an arena card. Like, I don't think this card's very good or anywhere near powerful enough for Wild. So Sneaky Scout is the next one. We have a 2-mana 3/2 with Stealth. Honorable kill, your next hero power costs 0. So the only thing I really want to mention here is we're getting to the point where we have a pretty high density of 2-mana stealth minions. And the reason that I want to point that out is that it really just makes Greyheart Sage, right? The 3-mana 3/3, if you control a stealth minion, draw 2 cards in Rogue. The more of these that we get, right, eventually we're going to hit a density where those cards are good enough that Greyheart Sage is almost always active on turn 3, which is going to, be a really, really powerful thing in Rogue. I don't know if Sneaky Scout is that, but the more of these that we see, the better for stuff like Greyheart Sage. Then we have Reconnaissance. This is a 2-mana rogue spell. Okay, 2 mana. Discover a Death Battle minion from another class. It costs 2 less. So this is like there's a Battlecry equivalent for rogue. Waxomancy, I believe, is the name. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I'll put up an image if I'm right. Otherwise, yeah. But that card sees absolutely 0 play, so there's no reason that this card should see play either. Then we have Scrapsmith. So this is a 3-mana 2/4 with Taunt. This is a warrior card, sorry. Battlecry, add 2 2/4 grunts with Taunt to your hand. So I will say, Taunt Warrior was running the 3-mana 2/3 Death Rattle, add 2 1/1 taunts to your hand. Okay? Because they had no better options. Guys, that card is the hottest garbage. And so now we finally get to cut it. Hallelujah. And Romano, I know you're listening. First of all, thank you for listening. But also, I mean, I expect you to comment, hand buff warrior, question mark? Is this good enough for that? Who knows? No, but like in all seriousness, I think Scrapsmith fits that really, really nice niche of cards in a very, very specific set of decks that's going to enjoy the upgrade here that it sees with Scrapsmith. All right, so next up we have Cold Tooth Yeti. So this is a 3-mana 1/5 common for Rogue. Combo, gain +3 attack. So if you are going second, you can play a turn 2 4/5 in Rogue. Is that worth it? Like, turn 2 4/5s are pretty good. They synergize with like stuff like Counterfeit Coin. Obviously, like most things do, Foxy Fraud looks really, really nice with this. Like, maybe we try this in that Edwin Rogue. It's just like another way to high roll a turn 2 or turn 3 pile of stats. But my instinct is that it's not very good in something like Edwin Rogue. And if it's not good in that Edwin Rogue, I'm not really sure where this is going to see play. All right, and then we have Deliverance. This is a 3-mana holy spell in Priest. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Honorable Kill, so if you deal exact damage, summon a 3/3 copy of it. So this could be a friendly minion. It could be an enemy minion. I think this will be a pretty sweet discover option off of stuff like Renew or Palm Reading, but I don't really know any deck that wants Deliverance or like kind of archetype that wants this kind of effect, right? Obviously not Big Priest, not the Medium Priest. I don't think Reno Priest wants this effect outside of Discover options. Like Tempo Priest is not really a thing in Wild. Inner Fire probably doesn't want this. Silence Priest doesn't really want this. So yeah, I mean, outside of being a really, really sweet Discover option in certain games, yeah, not really excited about this guy. All right, then we have Spirit Guide. This is another Priest minion here. We have a 5-mana 5/5 taunt with Death Rattle. Draw a Holy and Shadow spell. So if you're playing this in like Medium Priest, you can like 5-mana 5/5 draw 2. And I believe that 3-mana tradable Resurrect spell for Death Rattle minions gets drawn off of this, if I remember correctly. But Twilight's Call gets drawn off of this. Just removal in general, right? Like Mass Hysteria, Spirit Lash, stuff like that gets drawn off of Spirit Guide. No, I mean, in all seriousness, I'm pretty sure the Medium Priest is a meme. So I don't really know where this sees play. Like, I think the fact that this is a Death Rattle, it might make it too slow for Reno Priest, but it's a really, really powerful effect in Reno Priest, yeah? 5-mana 5/5 taunt is not great, but if that 5-mana 5/5 taunt buys you a turn, right? Like, it saves you enough life that you can draw yourself a Psychic Scream off of this, or draw yourself a Mass Hysteria off of this. That's pretty good, right? So I think Spirit Guide actually, memes aside with the Medium Priest, I think Spirit Guide might actually have a home in some of these, either whether you're playing combo Reno Priest or if you're playing engines like Quest Reno Priest, like Questline. Spirit Guide might actually have a home because we have a very, very high density of like quality spells that you want to be drawing. And so yeah, I mean, 5-mana 5/5 taunt, Death Rattle, draw 2 good cards from your deck. Draw 2 removal spells. I think that's good, right? Like, I think that's very, very high quality. So definitely take a look at Spirit Guide in some of those decks. And last but not least, we have a mom and her cub. We have Mountain Bear. So this is a 7-mana hunter minion with taunt, 5/6 beast, Death Rattle. Summon 2 2/4 cubs with taunt. So one of the big beast to hit off of the new synergies in Standard. In Wild, so 7-mana 5/6 that summons 2 2/4s. So that is 9/14 worth of stats. So if we can somehow cheat this out, it's a lot of stats. So I'm not sure how to cheat it out. Like hitting this off of Maxima Blast Hammer or Flark's Boomzooka, not really the most intriguing things. Hitting this off of Katrina is very intriguing, but that means that you're not hitting Crush or Devilsaur. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I actually do need to take a look at this like Reno Big Beast Hunter, where like the only beast that you're running are stuff like Mountain Bear, maybe some hits off of Guardian Animals. And then obviously you have Crush plus the 7/7 Devilsaur with Witching Hour. Maybe that's the route we're going here. The 2/4 tokens are beasts, so it does maybe mess up with the Witching Hour card itself. But yeah, I don't know. It feels very weird to be seeing Taunt and Hunter. But so like, I'm not super high on this card. Even if you do somehow build this Reno Big Beast Hunter, there's probably better cards than this anyways, right? Even though it has a lot of stats. It's a lot of stats with a lot of taunt. A little sad, not gonna lie to you, a little sad that this isn't a Druid card, because like it would be great in Taunt Druid. But yeah, I mean, even all that being said, like God, the art on these tokens in this expansion, top notch. Very, very cute cards. And that's it. We've made it through like the next set of like 30 something cards here. So I hope you guys enjoyed a really, really quick run through of all these cards. I'm super excited for this expansion. Stay tuned tomorrow for the last video, because on the 24th we'll be getting all the rest of the cards. Or we're gonna have the last few sets of reveals plus the next like big card dump that always happens with a bunch of like always sleeper cards, right? I believe that's when we like saw Tour Guide and Broomstick, I believe was like in card dumps like that from Skullman. So excited to see what we get tomorrow. So there'll be another card review for that, and of course we've got a bunch of card reviews coming on the podcast episodes and predictions and decks and stuff like that. And make sure if you guys like content like this, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of good stuff. Let me know what cards you're excited about, whether you agree or disagree with a lot of my evaluations. They were really, really quick glances, so let me know how you're planning on using them and all that kind of stuff as well. I will say that if you guys enjoy this content, there will be a ton of theory crafting going on my channel, my live Twitch channel, twitch.tv/getmeout, as well as my up here on YouTube. I'll post some of my theory crafts as well. Last thing before we head out, if you guys haven't heard already, we're going to be hosting a $1,000 prize pool wild tournament this Sunday, November 28th on the America server. It's free to enter, all right? Regardless of what kind of competitive experience you want or have, if you guys want to play, make sure you guys check out the link. The link to that will be down in the description. Highly recommend you guys check it out. Our friends over at Community Gaming are helping us out with the prize pool and the tournament running itself. So very generous of them. And I'm super excited to put on the second tournament. The first one was an absolute blast. And I'll be posting some of the highlights for that over here on the YouTube channel once that is finished already. Or once that is finished as well, rather. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. There's really, really quick card review. I say quick, but it's been 50 minutes. But there was a lot of cards to talk about. Some really, really cool ones as well with all the hero cards. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys next time. Later.